how's it going? So, super quick video. There were some people said, oh, what about, like, engagement optimized matchmaking cannot be real because there are some people who can do like 100 and 0 wins in rank, or they can rapid climb. Or there's another one which is I call it anomalies, right? Anomalies. So I'll address all three of them super quickly, right? Because I'm kind of done with league. I'm kind of done with engagement optimized matchmaking at this stage. And I gave you the tools to, like, you have the whole toolkit to manage yourself at this stage, right? So, but I'll address them. Okay, 100 to 0 wins rank. So how do they do it? They buy giga low MMR accounts, right? So now you can very quickly see it because for the first 80 games they are somewhere between iron and gold, mid gold, I suppose, right? Because you see, when, like, you have to understand in League of Legends, account rank is irrelevant, right? It's all about the MMR. MMR is the matchmaking rating, right? So this MMR is controlled by point system per win. Okay, so if you buy iron account with MMR that is like 50, okay, and you're gaining 6 per win. So let's look at the well, let's. I don't think we're gonna be able to find iron bracket, but one sec. Let me do it. Okay, so I found it. So this is, you see, roughly what it used to be. Now they're completely hiding it now because the people want the you know, the beautiful borders. It's cute stuff, but I mean, fundamentally, this is the only thing that matters, is the MMR. You can't physically see it, but I mean, you can see it by OPGG and see the type of players that you're playing against, right? So, you see, if you get your, like, you will see streamers abandoning some accounts. You see them, like, climb. They get to, like, I don't know, master tier, whatever, and then they lose, like, 7 in a row. At that point, they stop on that account and they start a new account. Because the gain and loss in MMR is affected so much, it's not worth for them to do it anymore. Does that make sense? So you will see, like, when you look at those guys winning, you can see, you can look, and they're it will look something like this. You see silver 2, silver 2, silver 2, silver 2. You see, they're playing against the same elo all the time. There's ones that are going to be like iron 3, iron 3, iron 3, iron 3 for like 10 games. Then it's going to be like iron 1, iron 1, iron 1, iron 1, bronze 4, iron 1, iron 1, iron 1, bronze 4. Do you understand? So effectively speaking, and it takes very long time to get the account back up. That's why streamers simply abandon accounts, right? So you see, like, majority of their games, out of these 100 games, probably like 80 of them were like in giga low elo, plus they also sometimes dual queue. And you have to understand, in low elo, 2 players, you can literally 2v5 in low elo. You just, because the condition to win in league, you can sometimes win losers queue if you're good and you have, like, some people refer to it like Batman and Robin, right? So you're the Batman, you're like shitting on everyone, but your team is feeding, but there is one guy who is literally like close to your level, and that sometimes is enough for you to tip the game in your favor and win, right? But not only do you have yourself, you also have 2 of you on the same team who are absolutely shitting on the top and on the mid. I already tested dual queue. Top and mid work by far the best, because top winning and mid winning guarantees that the jungle and bot are going to win. Guarantees, right? Because, well, I'm not gonna go into this theory, but like fundamentally, like, don't play league, it's a waste of your time. But top and mid works the best. So if you're just shitting on those 2, you control the whole map. You just, like, that's it. There's that the algorithm cannot outplay you. Now, it will eventually get to you in higher levels, but in iron and bronze, like there's just no way for algorithm to screw you over, right? If you're like good enough, I'm talking about, right? So that's how they do it. They simply buy super low MMR accounts, and then they just play for like 200 games, and most of those games are in shit low. And even if they dual queue, they can go all the way to like very high win rates. Right? That's how they do. Okay, so this is this one. Okay, so we covered this one. Rapid climb system. Okay, they say, oh, there's this guy. He like 12 wins, and he's already like in mid diamond. Okay, this has been discovered for the past, I think, 2 or 3 years, I think, right? That if you are ranking up account, right, from 0 to, I don't know, level 30 or 12 right now, level 30, right? Normal games, MMR, affects your ranking games, MMR, okay? So what do? They sometimes play with others, sometimes they duo queue, sometimes they're like 5-man queue, right? They slaughter everyone in normals, because you have to understand, we're talking about guys who are like top 20 players. Algorithm will struggle to put anybody against them because they are so efficient. They've been playing the game for 12 years. They've been employees of Riot for 12 years without getting paid anything. So they are kind of like addicts, but you have to understand they are efficient at the game. They don't get anything, they don't get paid, they're poor, but they are quite efficient, right? So you're looking at guys who are like, I don't know, like being good at League is kind of like one of those world Guinness Book of Record, like the guy who can clap the most per second, right? Right? It doesn't do anything. It's impressive. I mean, he can clap very quickly. But like, if you go into that community of clappers, you will see that they are very efficient, very efficient with what they're doing, right? So League of Legends kind of like that as well. Like, it's one of those weird communities where irrelevant shit somehow matters because there are a lot of people doing it. Like, having high rank in real life, it just doesn't do anything. But whatever, in that community it means something. So they are gonna be very good at that stuff, right? So if they 5-man queue in normals until level 12, they're gonna win everything, right? So once they queue up, they play like 2 or 3 games, the MMR just spikes to like diamond instantly almost, right? And then you see like 12 games, 2 losses, and account is like master tier already. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, what? Like high master tier. And he's playing against grandmaster, master tier level. Sometimes against challenger. And you're like, what? There's like 14 games, dude. What the hell is going on? Right? But that's because, again, remember, I told you that account does not matter. What matters is the MMR system, right? And you can manipulate it. That's manipulation. The system is not designed for this, but of course, because they're experienced, they have already figured out the system, they know how to game it, right? So that's rapid climb system, right? And then you have anomalies, which are, it's probably difficult to understand, but I'll explain it for you. A good example is Iceman, right? This guy, what's his name? I'll find him, 1 sec. So yeah, look at this guy. He can swim in Antarctica for like 15 minutes. Most people, if they swim in this water after 2 minutes, I think their internal organs just freeze and they die. But he can do it in 15 minutes, right? Likewise, there are people, like I've seen I remember Pantheon was before rework, was so bad he got outscaled in like level 3, he's already useless. That's how bad the champion was, right? But there was one dude, he had 3 accounts in Korea in Challenger. Like, how do you explain that? It's just anomalies. It's just sometimes people become so efficient at something that it becomes an anomaly. Like, there are people on this planet Earth where they have photo memory. They can look at a picture and redraw it exactly what it is, right? So shit like that happens, and you'll see like, oh my god, how the hell did he do it? There was Twisted Fate. I remember there was a dude, Twisted Fate. AD, he was playing AD, mid I think he was a mid player, right? In Korea, top 50 players, I think. It was at some point in time it was happening, right? And people were like, what? Twisted Fate, AD, what? Like, how is that even possible, right? That's an anomaly, right? What else is, there was a, how else to explain it? Okay, so, I will tell you straight away, this, you will see this shit happening. There was a dude I saw, he was in medical, I was watching like a medical documentary, he had muscle growth for no reason whatsoever. Like, his muscles just kept getting bigger and bigger. He was doing zero training. He would go to sleep, wake up, and he has a biceps. Do you understand? Like, it just happens. It's just an anomaly. Now, what does that... It does not... I will write it in freaking gigantic letters, so I hope you can understand. It does not mean that you can do it. Do you understand? The sample size is too small for this. It means the system exists, but it's not replicable. Because in science, you have to understand that for system to be accepted as an efficient system, it has to be replicable and testable. Well, let me find the... Okay, so I found it. Like, there's a lot of stuff on this, but like we're just gonna focus on this. Another one in here is missing, is called scope, but whatever. But we have hypothesis, right, which is the theory or observation or whatever you want to kind of call it, right? Then there has to be in another one missing in here is testable, I think, verifiable. Yeah, verifiable. You see, so it has to be verifiable. That means, for example, like the scammers on YouTube, they're claiming that they are achieving magical results. They sell you the course. No one in the room can replicate the results. That means it's probably by luck or some kind of anomaly shit happened, right? Conditions could have made it happen or whatever, right? So it has to be verifiable, testable, right? It has to be predictable, which means other people can do it, right? And, well, fairness and scope, but fundamentally, like what I'm trying to tell you is that for a system to work, there has to be a certain degree of ability for other people to replicate the results. You cannot replicate anomaly or luck. You cannot do it. Do you understand? So when you're like meeting some kind of Iceman, there are people that are immune to AIDS in Africa. It's just genetically, statistically, one person is gonna be like that, or like the very small percentage. Again, it does not mean that you can do it yourself. I will give you a good example of because you see, the course sellers are trying to convince you that anomalies and luck can be replicated through hard work. Hard work and training. You cannot do it. You cannot do it. You cannot train a human to run faster than a cheetah because it's genetics. Do you understand? Cheetah can sit, watch television for the whole day, right? And then a human challenges cheetah to a race, and cheetah is still going to beat him, right? Because cheetah is designed for running. It's designed for running. There are humans that have the same characteristics, right? He can eat like crisps for the whole day, doesn't matter, right? But his legs and his body shape is designed in such manner, he has perfect like ratios of like leg length and how his muscles work. He will still beat you. You can train all you like, you will not beat him because of just how genetics work. But you see, you have to understand that course sellers, they need you to believe that this is false. They need you to believe that you can somehow replicate Facebook, you can somehow replicate the results, and through hard work and determination, you can beat cheetah in a race. I promise you that. Anything is possible. The only limits are the ones you put in yourself, right? That is complete bullshit, scientifically inaccurate, right? Now, don't put limits on yourself, but you have to accept that. Like, if you are genetically... Well, let's look at... Yeah, so look, if you are endomorph, these guys, like world's strongest men, tend to be endomorphs. They have gigantic skeletons, very large bones, most of their muscles are slow twitch, right? And they can bench obscene amounts of weight. Obscene. If you are in this category, you're probably a Iron Man runner. You will never, ever in your history, you can take, I don't know, you can train all you like. You will never bench as much weight as this guy here. Likewise, he will never be able to develop your level of endurance. It's just the body is not designed for this, right? So there are people that are just wired, like this Pantheon guy. During this patch, whatever the item changes were made, whatever the play style he was doing, whatever way he was moving on the map, during that time his brain was wired, conditions were there, and that's how it happened. It's an anomaly, right? It doesn't mean that you can replicate it, okay? I'll give you a very, very good example on esports, right? Flash as a player. He is the prodigy of Brood War. He is like by far the best player. Brood War is, his brain is wired to play Brood War really, really, really well. The reason why we know that is because he went to StarCraft 2, same work ethic, right? Same person, same computer, everything is the same. But the game was different. Game is different, right? He could not replicate his results in StarCraft 2. He is the same player. He then went back to Brood War, boom, again, he is a superstar. Because in that condition, that's it, that's his thing, right? That's an anomaly. It means that if you train all you like, he is basically the cheetah of running in Brood Wars. Like, that is his environment. So you are, they might be, because population of Brood War players in Korea is very, very high, so there might be a second Flash, but I mean statistically we're talking very small percentage, right? So trying to beat him is like trying to outrun a cheetah. Do you know what I'm saying? So like for you as a person, you have to very, very closely observe where you have a distinctive advantage, because there's gonna be an environments, right, where you are the cheetah of running. There's a very, very good saying. Just remember this saying. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will forever think it is inadequate. Well, inadequate means like useless, right? Inadequate, useless, whatever you want, right? So this, you have to remember, like, somebody tells you to do something, that could be just not your thing. So you need to observe where are you achieving abnormally good results, right? I'm very, very logical. Anything scientifically, like mathematically, logically, I'm like the cheetah. Like, I'm super, super good at this stuff. Now, ask me to do some kind of creative design, I'm useless. Like, I can't do it, but it feels unnatural to me. Do you understand? Like, algorithms, mathematical equations, figuring out logical concepts, observation, like all this sciencey stuff is natural to me, right? Design, I couldn't care less whether the building has flowers on it or is black and white. That does not really resonate with me, right? So you have to understand, like, you need to observe yourself and figure out where is your environment, right? But again, to answer the question, there was a Soroka mid lane tank and he got like a challenger, like top 80 challenger, okay? Yeah, but how many other Soroka tanks mid do you know that can actually do it? Oh, he's actually the only one, and he was only able to do it on patch whatever, right? Well, first of all, that patch is not there. And Soroka got nerfed to whatever. or she got reworked, or she got changed, or the item that he was rushing got removed. So now he is no longer there. There was a dude, he was playing Bard, I think. He's very, very, very good example of this. He was like playing Bard, and then Bard got buffed, items got changed, and all of a sudden he was like rank 1. Do you know what I'm saying? Everybody's like, yeah, you know, dude, let's interview this guy. Dude, he was barely challenger for the past last 5 years. And now, like, everybody's interviewing as if he's some kind of project. It's not that his gameplay improved, it's just that the patch has changed. And then they nerfed Bard because he was able to roam around the map and get better XP from his little things he collects than from laning. And people also figured out, wait a minute, right? You have Bard who has higher levels than the laning support, and you have solo XP for the ADC. So even if ADC has 50% farm, Bard comes back into lane, they are like 4 levels higher than the bot lane, and now all of this super farming that was done by the enemy ADC is irrelevant, because 4 levels difference in league is unplayable, basically. Unplayable, right? It was just the environment. It wasn't anything to do with this special snowflake, right? You try to replicate. That's why sometimes scammers, they sell you systems like real estate, for example. Yeah, it worked 60 years ago, for sure, but not today. It's not gonna work today. Do you know what I'm saying? So you need to be kind of careful about this shit. And you have to also remember that anomalies do exist. It does not mean that the system is going to work for you, because it's an anomaly. It could be luck, it could be anomaly, right? I hope I understand this. I hope I answered those questions. Okay, take care, bye-bye.